Yo, what's up guys? Toby here with another video. And today's video we are doing part 2 to Selena with Love. So we're reviewing chapter 3 and 4. And let's get to it, people. So here it is, chapter 3. Earning Selena's trust. There you go. So basically what this chapter talks about is that Chris has a little bit of problems. When I mean by problems, I'm saying that Chris got arrested, and this whole process where he got arrested, he thought he was gonna lose Selena. He was like, dang, dude, like, what did I do, bro? Like, Selena's too good for me. She's too innocent. Like, I got arrested. And he got arrested for drunk driving with his cousins in the back. All his cousins were drunk, and I think he was going to a studio. And supposedly the cops were chasing him, and then once they got stopped, the cops ordered everyone to go outside and put their hand behind their back. And then since Chris and his cousins were so drunk, he said that he started wrestling them. It was a huge brawl. And the shirts were all muddy, bloody, and they were all types of scratched up. So once he got to the police station, one of the officers recognized Chris Perez. He was like, dude, you're the lead guitarist for Selena and Los Dinos. He was like, yeah, I am. And then the officer asked, what are you doing here? And then Chris explained to him that he got arrested because he was drunk driving. So basically he told him why he got arrested, why he was all beat up and muddy. And Chris said in the book, one of Selena's songs were playing at the police station, and Chris, in his mind, he said he could hear Selena right there, right next to him. She was like, damn, she'd be so disappointed in me, you know, because he got arrested. So once he got to the police station, he told Selena that he got arrested, and Selena's reaction was crazy. She was like, Chris, what the hell are you doing, dude? She's like, what are you doing? Like, you know better. And then Chris in his whole mind thought he was going to lose Selena because he was like, dude, I'm going to lose the love of my life. I'm going to lose a girl. I'm going to lose this beautiful girl and all that. So they talked about it over the phone, and eventually they met up in person. And so they made up or whatever. Chris made a promise to Selena that he wouldn't drunk drive anymore and be more responsible. And so it was time to tell Abraham Quintanilla, which is Selena's dad. Chris thought that he was going to get yelled at and maybe even kicked off the band for what he did. Because that's such a bad reputation. Imagine someone in your band gets arrested for drunk driving. Like, do you know how bad that would look? So Chris was grateful that no one knew that Selena and him were seeing each other underwater. He was happy that no one knew that him and Selena were a thing, because he would kill her reputation. Like you could imagine what people were saying. Dude, Selena's dating a freaking person who got a DUI, which is crazy. So he told Abraham, look, man, I got arrested and I'm gonna have court. Well, he didn't tell him he had court dates and all that. He didn't tell him that, but Abraham said, hey, look, Chris, I'm pretty sure everything's gonna be all right. So Chris thought Abraham would go off of him, talk a whole lot of nonsense to him, because that's what he expected. Like, because he got pulled over while drunk driving. Abraham was supportive of Chris. He was like, Chris, don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure everything's gonna be all right. Because Abraham told Chris, we don't want you getting hurt. We don't want you getting hurt because big things are coming for the band. And when he meant by big things, he meant traveling to Mexico, doing records. Well, besides that, another incident came up for Chris Perez. And this incident was at a hotel room with all his friends. I think it was one of the band members of Los Dinos. I think it was Joe Ajera. I think so, I'm not sure. They were all drunk. Literally, they're all drunk because Chris likes beer, and I'm pretty sure his friends were drinking heavy too. So Chris said they were making a mess in the hotel. They were breaking everything, breaking the walls, breaking the lamps, because everyone was wrestling each other. Like, they would wrestle, and then Chris said his friends would throw each other into the walls, and then all the walls were broken. They had big old holes in them. And the security camera caught all that noise, and then the security knocked on the door. And then no one answered. That's when the security opened up. And then he went to tell Abraham Quintanilla what happened. And Abraham was livid, dude. He wanted Chris out of the band immediately, because this looked horrible on them already. First the arrest, now trashing the hotel. He wanted Chris out of it. He's like, get him out. I don't care anymore. Get him out. And then A.B. Quintanilla, which is the son, he's like, Dad, no, we can't. We can't find another guitarist in time, because he had a tour in Mexico. And he's like, we can't find another guitarist in time. It's impossible. We just can't. And he was like, I got him. Don't worry about it. I control him. Selena saw it, and then she was disappointed in him again. They're like, what are you doing, dude? And then that's when Chris was like, you're too good for me. Like, you don't know me and all that. And then Chris, and then Selena was like, I do know you. Stop acting stupid. Stop. She's like, I'm not stupid. I've been around musicians my whole life. I am not impressed by what you did. That's nasty, disgusting. Don't do that. I know who you are. You're Chris. You're the loving person I love. That's what Selena said. And Selena just stormed off in anger. And so a couple days went by. Well, a couple hours went by. Chris eventually went to apologize to Abraham. He said, hey, I'm sorry. I'll pay for everything. And then he was like, look, son, this is not alright. I was very frustrated. And, you know, accidents happen. I know we're young. We're young musicians. So after Chris and Abraham had that conversation, Abraham gave him a hug. He was like, everything will be alright. Don't worry about it. So that ends chapter 3, my people. Earning Selena's trust. Here is chapter 4, facing Father's wrath. Wrath? I think I can say, I don't know. There you go. There is Selena facing Father's wrath. So basically, what happened in this chapter, it kicked off with Selena and Chris only on the bus. They had a concert, and I think it was in San Antonio or Corpus Christi, and everyone was on the bus. Everyone was out of the bus except them two. And Chris said he was sitting on the lunch table while Selena was sitting on the couch. And Suzette came in, storming in, opening the door, opening the door, slamming it. And then she saw Chris and Selena alone in the bus, but they weren't doing anything. And then Suzette said, "Oh God," and rolled her eyes. And she stormed off, slamming the bus door. And then Chris asked Selena, what was that about? Selena said she had no idea. But Chris said they had no idea that Suzette told Abraham that they were holding hands together in the bus, which they weren't. Chris said that Abraham forgot the money he got paid from the last concert in the hotel room. So he called Chris over, and then Chris got up, and then he was like, damn, what happened? He's like, what do I do now? So Chris thought he was gonna get yelled at, but no, he told Chris, do you have a friend's car I could borrow? Because I forgot the briefcase with the money in it at the hotel. So Chris was like, oh, okay, nothing happened. It wasn't anything bad. So Abraham went back to the hotel, got the money, and split it between the group. And Chris was like, oh, and Chris thought he was off the hook. And then once they're walking back to the bus, Chris said Abraham was walking, and then he immediately stopped, which he almost bumped into him, but he didn't. Abraham turned back and started pointing at him, and then he was like, Suzette told me that you and Selena were holding hands. And Chris was speechless because he thought Suzette was cool with it, you know, like everyone in the band knew. So he thought Suzette was cool with it. And Suzette told Abraham. Abraham's like, stop doing that. I want this thing to stop right now. And but he was yelling at Chris. And Chris was standing there speechless, like he couldn't say nothing. He couldn't say anything. He couldn't say anything. So Abraham was telling Chris, don't you dare tell Selena about this, cause if you tell her she asks me, I'm gonna lie to her and say no, because she's always gonna believe me. I'm her dad, so if I say no, she's gonna believe it. So Chris never told Selena that Abraham confronted him about him and Selena talking to each other and being too close to each other, because Suzette told him. But Suzette only said that they were holding hands. Suzette didn't say they were seeing each other behind closed doors. Chris said he felt like the whole band was ignoring him. No one wanted to talk to him. No one wanted to see him. They just ignored him completely. But Chris said he thought the band was cool with it, but there was so much tension between them. He said they were probably all sick of the drama, hiding everything from their dad. So they wanted nothing to do with it anymore. Not even Pete, Joe, Ricky, or AB would talk to him, or Suzette. They just ignore him at all. They only talk to him in the studio when they want to make a new song. He had his feelings hurt and did not like it. So this one day, Chris said they were going to a concert, and Selena and him were just talking and all that. And since Abraham knew there was something going on with Chris and Selena, he said that he was always keeping the eyes sharp on them, that he would look at them 24/7, not keep their eyes off him, like he would look in the rear mirror and check every single moment. And then Chris said they were playing a game, when all of a sudden Abraham stopped the bus with a hard brake, get pulled over to the side. Abraham started yelling at Chris from the driver's seat. He said, whatever's going on with you, Selena has to stop right now. He kept yelling at him, and then he started walking towards Chris. He said, I'm not going to let this happen between you and Selena. It's never not. You're going to destroy my band. Abraham told Chris that he's like a cancer in the family. And Chris said that hurt him a lot. He said he had his feelings more hurt than anger. He had a little bit of anger, but his feelings were hurt because he knew for a long time. And for him, and for Abraham to say that to Chris, he said he was devastated. And then once Abraham called Chris, he's like a cancer to the family. That's where Selena stepped in. She was like, don't talk to him like that. And that's what Abraham said. I could talk to him whatever way I want to talk to him. So Selena and Abraham were arguing back and forth. So Chris was thinking, I need to call my friend to drive me back to San Antonio because I am done with this. I don't want no more to do with Abraham, no more to do all of this. Selena and Abraham were arguing back and forth, and that's where Selena said, I love Chris and he loves me. And that's where Abraham says, of course he does. You're beautiful and you're rich. And that's where Selena said, of course you would say that. And that's where Chris had enough. That's what says, alright, screw this, I'm done. And that's what Selena said, Chris, you can't leave. That's where Chris whispered to Selena, just listen to your dad. Abraham thought that Chris was a bum musician, he wanted money. But Chris said, Abraham should know me, I'm not in this for the money. I just love the passion for music. So that's when Abraham fired Chris from the band. That's what Abraham said to Chris, I'm going to fire you and you can ride with us back to Corpus Christi and that's it, you're out of the band. And that's where Chris Perez says, I'm going to find my own way home. And that's where Selena started crying. She's like, Chris, don't leave. And that's where Chris had to leave. He said that he left two of his guitars on there. His Jackson guitar and his Richie Sambora signature Strat. That's where he left it. So Selena was crying the whole way to her next concert because she was devastated. And AB hired his old guitarist, which I don't know his name because Chris doesn't mention it in the book. And Chris said Selena and him were seeing each other behind everybody's back still, no matter what, because Chris loved Selena and Selena loved Chris. Because Abraham told Selena, if you keep seeing that man, I will disband Selena and Los Dinos. Chris says, I know he's not going to disband Los Dinos because that's his passion, music. He worked so hard for this. This is his bandage because one little incident. So Chris said he knew he wasn't going to disband the group. And Selena said, I can't take this anymore. I can't. And then soon after that incident happened, so since one of Chris's friends was working for Abraham, disloading the amps and the speakers and all that, so Abraham asked Chris's friend, which his name is Jesse, he was like, do you know if Chris is still seeing Selena? Because I know you're one of his best friends. And that's where Jesse said, I don't know. And then that's where Abraham said, how don't you know? You're one of his best friends. I'm pretty sure he tells you everything. And that's where Jesse was walking away. So once all of that happened, Chris went back to live with his dad in his apartment, and he was finally free. He was like, dude, I had enough of this. So he told his whole friends that him and Selena were dating, and he was very relieved. He was like, dude, I got that big old pain out of my back, and he was like, I never want to see Abraham again. It's so much stress. Now I feel more happier that I can see Selena behind closed doors. So Selena told Abraham and her family that she would run errands. And then she lied to them, and then she wanted to go spend a whole day with Chris. And surely it was Abraham who was knocking to check if Selena was there. And then Chris was like, do I know you, sir? And then Chris immediately recognized Abraham's voice. And to scare him, Chris is out holding a gun behind his back. And Chris said he usually did that when it was like late at night, and he didn't know who it was. So he immediately recognized Abraham's voice. And went outside to talk to him, and then Abraham asked Chris, was Selena here? And then Chris was like, no, she wasn't. And Chris said he felt terrible for lying, but he didn't care. He loved Selena a lot. That was a really, really close call that Selena and Chris didn't get caught. Well, guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys liked this video. Part 3 is coming next week. I know you guys are excited for part 3 because I am excited. Subscribe, drop a like, turn on notifications, and Toby's out. Peace.